Why would the Sultan of Morocco receive, mail in China? Why would the Sultan of Morocco receive mail in Australia? Right? So this had to be the jurisdiction as well in order for them to make the claim. So when we say nationality, we're talking about connecting ourselves to a culture and customs that we know had to do with our ancient foremothers and forefathers. And one of those supreme customs that even we adopt in our principles is peace.
Yeah.
Which is where Islam comes in. Which is why all these so-called, what they would say, plenipotentiaries or students embraced Islamic culture, from the names of their mosques to KKK having a Quran to Jefferson having a Quran, and this relationship that they have with Islam, right, is because Islam means peace. So they were really lining themselves up with peace. But then why would they not line themselves up with peace if they signed a treaty of peace and friendship? Or a treaty of Islam and friendship? If they're signing the treaty of Islam and friendship, then they're probably going to have to be down with something Islamic or peaceful.
The Muslim doesn't even know what Islamic is.
Right.
As it is right.
As it is right now. Their version of Islam is what they see today.
Yeah.
When real Islam is nature worship.
Yeah.
Real Islam is astrological worship. Real Islam is going within and humbling yourself. Bring your vibration of your thoughts, of your heartbeat, of your pulse, of everything on the same frequency, so that there can be some balance created, because our lives have been filled with or bombarded with imbalance. And then that imbalance, again, just like the misconcepts of history, we take that imbalance as being balanced and then throw our whole stuff off for generations.
Get swept away.
Right? And get swept away at the same time. Because the truth of the matter is that there's only one thing that is going to assist our people, and that's them knowing their self for real. They cannot know their self kind of know themselves. Either you know yourself or you don't. And majority of people don't, because when we ask them, what's your nationality, they can't answer. And if they do answer, they always answer with some madness.
Yeah.
Right?
I had that going at my house this morning too. I didn't know if she get on my case, but I'm going to blow it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell her. It's all about my birthright, nationality. It's nothing else.
Nothing else.
And for you are the mother. You should be,
Right. You should be on. Yeah. You should be on it more than you're on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I come from you.
But again, that's just like the good thing that you brought that up too. A mother came in earlier before class, right? Because I was just here, door was open, so she just came in and just sat down, chilling, right? So I'm like, class doesn't start till 1 or whatever, blah blah. You can stay, you can come back, whatever. He's like, well, I think I'll just stay or whatever, but I just wanted to know, what do you think about all this stuff going on or whatever, with our people, them police killing black men or whatever like that, blah, blah. So I was telling her, you know, first thing is that we're not black people. And us being not black, or trying to convince her that we're not black, was 80% of the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The other 20% was just, you know what I mean, figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But getting her to accept the fact like that the reason why these things are happening is because when you look up black,
Mm-hmm.
the definition is everything negative. So if people are gonna call themselves that, then
Treat you that way.
they're gonna treat you the way that the definition says
Mm-hmm.
you should be treated. Whether you're a noun or whatever is irrelevant. Whether you're a human being, breathing is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not supposed to be that we're identifying ourselves as something we're not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So in the end she was like, you know what, this is just too much over there. Like, this is just too much. I think I have more important things to do or whatever, right? And she left. Right?
Because it's not that it's too much or she have important things to do. I would think it's just that because she's so stained
Right.
that
She's trained
yeah.
to only know
That
what she
way.
knows.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. You know. And when I told her that well, you know, the only reason that this is hard or whatever is because, you know what I mean, you've been indoctrinated since James Brown that you're black.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you mean? I'm like, the guy, you know the guy. You know the guy sang the song, you're black, you're proud and all that stuff? She's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. Was he black? Yeah, he said he's black in the song. Okay, but his name was Brown though. How did he look?
Mm-hmm.
So why is he telling me that friend is black and proud when he's brown and his name's Brown?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And then again, she was, you know what I mean, kind of like wow,
Dizzy,
you know what I mean? Yeah, like dizzy.
Mm-hmm.
She was dizzy,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And that's just the black. We didn't even talk about anything to make her dizzy, for real. All we were talking about was
This is the
our
opening.
people are black.
It's the opening, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is why I had an issue with, you know, going to certain things, because if we can't get over that, then what is there
Mm-hmm.
to talk about?
Yeah.
If we're people who are about knowledge and know thyself or whatever,
Mhm.
right? And we're in a conversation with some of them, and we can't get over the fact that we're not black.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get over that. You know, it always goes back to, well, you know, oh, somebody said more means black, so then why does it matter or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
You know, right? No matter how much stuff you present to them, how, you know, our people who are darker than us from the continent don't call themselves black. Like, who are we?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we gonna do it when other people don't do it, that are justified and overly qualified to do it?
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can do it. They're really black people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they really look like coal. They really look like tar, but they don't call themselves black. Right? So this brainwash thing that
Even
that
some Sri
we
Lanka.
have our people on.
Some
Yeah,
Sri
even Sri Lankans too, yeah.
Very dark.
Darker than us,
Yeah.
way darker than
Darker.
us. And they wouldn't let you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know. They are gonna make sure that that doesn't stick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There was some
They would call you black if you say you're black.
right, they'll go with you,
Yeah.
you know, in your ignorance they'll go with you, but
But they're not.
yeah. So there was some Juali readings that we wanted to put out there again. Articles from the Moorish Guide newspaper, just so that we can again put his information out, use his writings to show that he wasn't just some mere believer. You know, he was civic-minded, constitutional. He was a metaphysician. He was astrologic, and he was a guiding light for us. You know, he was letting us know where we could be. You know what I mean? If we were to take him more serious than we do, right? So political slavery. Anytime a man or woman fails or refuses to cast a sacred ballot at the polls, they separate themselves from all rights of an American citizen. For surely this is the one connecting medium for a citizen to his nation. They become no more than belated beasts of burdens. There are reasons why certain classes who are more or less independent take no part in politics, since they say they got nothing out of such in a way of material gain. This is no less than a political slave, since they refuse to voice their sentiments at the polls. Another form of political slavery, which probably is more prevalent among the less independent classes, is that of being forced into one of the major parties and there bribed, coerced, or otherwise forced to vote the wishes of someone else regarding of their own minds. Before there can be general relief for the economic good of all forms of political slavery must be abolished, and every citizen must take his part in the affairs of the nation. Right? So at one time, it was worth it to go to the polls, because you actually had people who were in political power that really worked for your best interest. Right? But now, since everybody's bought off, since everybody's an agent for something else and an agent for something else and an agent for whatever else, they have the concept of enslavement now in the political arena, where people are, you know, it's like how the Asiatics of America, one time they were Republican, and then they thought Republican was some European concept, so then they became Democratic. And ever since that switch, they've been voting Democratic. Always. Even over here. Right? It's just, it's something in their mind that they don't want nothing to do with Republic, because they think Republic is some European concept. Right? When Republic is really, you know, what they established for the Europeans to exercise government. So the only form of government should be Republic, and the only party should be Republican, which is really the people, because there's no party that is going to stand for the people's rights. It's the people, just like you're saying. Before there can be general relief for the economic good, so before anybody out here has any type of economic salvation, right? All forms of political slavery must be abolished, right? So again, the political slavery is the parties. So as soon as you hear Moors start talking about, yeah, we need to start our own party so we can go to the government and then we can be counted in the parties of the government. And they're not telling people that that's private foreign corporation. They're enslaving people with politics. When Moors are telling people, vote for mayors, vote for whatever, vote for, you know, congressmen or whatever like that, that are part of that democracy system, that they know those people are not going to influence them to change anything. No Asiatic is going to get in power, ask Obama, no Asiatic is going to get in power and sway these Europeans to think in favor of quote-unquote black people. It's not happening, because you can't make that move in politics.